Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to installment of Scott's Selections here for Sunday, June 12th. For in today's play of the day, quick recap of what happened yesterday. We had an awful day. Starting off with the UFC video from a couple days ago, we had an 0-2 day there. Had Prohaska by knockout for 2 units at minus 120. And we also had half a unit on Teixeira by submission at 5-1. And then yesterday's play of the day, we had the Red Sox money line at plus 114. And each of those 3 plays lost via some sort of bad beat. So to go through each of them in order, the knockout prop, we had a bunch of chances. He almost finished Teixeira at the end of the first round. Had Teixeira wobbled a couple of times in the stand-up with some knees in the second and third round. And he just could not finish Teixeira off. He had a bunch of chances and didn't work out. Then on top of that, Teixeira had the back a couple of times. He had a couple of rear naked chokes set up, which did not work out. He also had a pretty serious arm triangle there in the fourth round, and that did not work either. But when you have a secondary black belt and you have great position against a guy with no belts whatsoever in jiu-jitsu, you assume he's going to get the submission. And unfortunately, he did not. So he lost both of those. And then the Red Sox were 1 strike away, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bottom 9, up 1. Bloop single for the game-tying run, and then game-losing RBI double on the next batter. So 0-3 day, 3 brutal beats, and we'll look for a winning day here on Sunday. And for the play there, we're going to look ahead to some tennis. We'll get a match between Casper Ruud and Ryan Peniston taking place early Tuesday morning at around 5 a.m. And for this play, we're going to take the dog in this one. We're going to take Peniston plus 4 games at minus 115 on Bet Online. Time recording of 11:50 a.m. Eastern Time. Couple reasons why I like the underdog in this spot. First of all, I know most people know Casper Ruud is. He was the runner-up in the French Open who just lost to Nadal. However, he has been historically awful on grass. Now, Ruud has not played a grass court match since June of 2021. On top of that, Ruud has only played in 4 grass court matches since July of 2019. So in the span of about 3 years, he has been on grass for about 4 times, and he has also only played in 1 grass match in the last year. So at the end of the day, you're looking at a spot where Ruud should really struggle to make the transition from clay to grass immediately. On top of that, we know that historically speaking, he's been a terrible grass court player. So I do think he is going to potentially be upset in the spot. But if you're going to be laying 4 games with the lack of pedigree and the lack of recent grass experience, I do have to consider taking the dog here because I think there's a lot of value with it. Plus, unlike Ruud, Peniston has been playing a bunch of grass court matches recently, as Peniston has played 6 grass matches in the past 2 weeks. So I do think he should be well adjusted to the surface change, while Ruud should not. Plus, if you want to go through some quotes, Ruud had a pretty funny quote about his time on grass and how he's preparing for Wimbledon this season. He said, quote, "I think grass is for golf players. My preparation for Wimbledon is pretty much just playing golf, before the tournament, because I feel more comfortable on the golf course than the tennis courts on grass for now. But let's see if it can change," end quote. So, of course, Ruud is being half sarcastic during the quote, but the point is he's well aware that grass is definitely his worst surface. He usually plays 1 tune-up match followed by Wimbledon, and then he's immediately moving on to hard court. So he really doesn't exert much effort in the grass court season, and I do think that he's going to struggle once again on grass like he has his entire career. Plus, if you want to look at the actual spot here, this tournament's taking place in London, and Peniston's from the UK, so he should have a pretty nice home court advantage there, and I do think the crowd will be behind him the entire way. But people are going to look at the money line, see Ruud at minus 400, and assume that he should just steamroll this guy. But in reality, I have no idea why Ruud is this big of a favorite. Peniston is an unproven challenger guy, but he does have a lot of experience on grass. Ruud has been an awful grass court player his entire career, and it's one thing to find a way to win a match against an inferior opponent. It's another thing to cover 4 games here with the lack of just feel on the grass courts, and I do think that Ruud's going to struggle. I think he might lose the match, but if you're going to give me 4 games against a guy who's historically terrible on grass, this number is solely there because of Ruud's overall ATP ranking, which means nothing to me because, of course, most of the points he acquired were during the clay court season. So I do think Peniston's live to win the match, but giving me 4 games is definitely too many. I'm going to take it. So play that once again here for Sunday, June 12th, going to be on Ryan Peniston, plus 4 games at minus 115 on Bet Online. Bye, everyone.